Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt review time again. But this time I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. In fact, for the entire month of December, while I will be reviewing the bags of Paydirt like normal, I will also be trying to find the hardest bag of Paydirt to pan out. And to start with, we're going to be going through Goldbay's Gnome Impossible bag. Now what I will be doing is trying everything I know tricks to make the bag easier to pan. So I will be using a magnet. I will flush out the Paydirt if it's really dirty. Anything I can to make it easier to pan, because I truly want to find the hardest bag of Paydirt to pan out. Something that you can't use a magnet on. You can't simply rinse off with a ton of water to make it less cloudy. Things like that. But to start, we're going to go with Goldbay's Gnome Impossible bag to see how it does. So let's just flash up the description and then we're going to go to the overhead. As you saw, a pretty basic description, but it pretty much gives you almost all the information you need to know. It's from Gnome, it has flat gold all the way down to 80 mesh, and should be very hard to pan out, if not impossible. So let's just weigh this up, see how much it does weigh. 4.3 ounces, so again, I'm going to assume it is supposed to be a 4-ounce bag. Let's just open it up. Oh. It's impossible to open these bags with gloves on. So, just cut it open. There you go. I will rinse this bag just to make sure I don't lose anything. And there you go. Nothing too big. Couple little pieces might be over 40 mesh. Nothing looks over 20 though. Let's check it for magnetite. And it is very heavy in magnetite. So maybe might not be as impossible as they say, because like I said, I am going to be using magnets, whatever I can, to make this Paydirt easier to go through, because then we will find out which bag is really the hardest bag to go through. Now I don't obviously need to classify this down, so we're just going to go get some water and start panning this out. So have my water, have my pan, have my Paydirt, and let's just get started and listen to some more music. Well, finished panning out all the Paydirt as you saw. And before I talk about any difficulty, I will show off the gold. But as you saw in part of the video, I did go back and reclassify the material wet because I really should have classified it in the beginning. Because as I said, I am really going to try all the tricks and gimmicks I know to make this Paydirt easier and all the Paydirts I do this month easier. So I did also classify all the gold down to show you how easy or hard this material would be to go through to recover the gold. So let's just get started showing off the gold with the plus 10. And I did find some gold in the plus 10. One little piece, but that is really surprising to me, in a bag called the Almost Impossible bag. So while I do like finding gold, I was really hoping not to find any in the plus 10 this time. And then in the minus 10, plus 20, even more gold, about 10 pieces. And again, this is pretty surprising to me. I did not expect to find gold in either one of these classifications. And then in the minus 20, plus 40, even more gold. And this is where the vast majority of the gold seems to be, with over probably 100 pieces. And last but not least, even more gold in the minus 40, if my dime would stop trying to cover it up. But not too much, which is really surprising, again, for a bag listed as an impossible bag. So let's just weigh these up, see what we get in the plus 10. 0.020. In the minus 10 plus 20, 0.95. And this is obviously where all the gold's going to be weight-wise. 0.865. And lastly, the minus 40. This should budge the scale, but we'll have to see. It didn't even budge the scale. Oh, there you go, 0.015. Now let's just add up all the gold to see what the total is. I am guaranteed 1 gram of gold again. And there you go, 1 gram on the dot. So I'm going to be right back and we're going to talk about difficulty. So now let's talk about Paydirt difficulty for this bag of Paydirt, the Almost Impossible bag. For a beginner, I would give this a hard just because there is a lot of black sands in this bag, and that's pretty much all it is black sands and gold. So it would be pretty difficult for a beginner panner, but for a advanced panner, I would just give it a medium, and it's pretty low on the scale for a medium because most of the gold isn't in the minus 40. It's larger than that, and if you classify this down, you would pretty much be able to find almost all the gold pretty easily, but it still does have a lot of black sands. So for a advanced panner, we're going to go medium. Now for an expert panner, this is pretty easy Paydirt to go through. If you classify this down, it's really nothing. And the vast majority of the material was above the plus 40 range. So beginner, hard, advanced, medium, expert, easy. And now let's just get to the ROI and the review. All right, finished calculating my ROI, writing up my review, and let's get right to it. This again was from Goldbay.com. It was their 4-ounce Almost Impossible gnome bag. It was guaranteed 1 gram of gold. Its cost was $62.95. Shipping was $8.95. Total cost right here, $71.90. Gold recovered again right here, exactly 1 gram. Gold spot on the day this was received was $61.49. making this gold's value worth $61.49. And that makes my ROI 85.52%, or on my scale, an 8.6. And I will never complain about receiving an 8.6 or an 85% ROI. Now for fun factor, I am going to drop this sum. Not much, but I'm going to drop it to an 8 because I really didn't find this to be impossible or even almost impossible. If you classify this stuff down to plus 40, minus 40, and you didn't even recover any of the minus 40, it really wouldn't have changed the ROI. I would have recovered a little bit less than a gram of gold, but not enough to significantly make this an almost impossible bag. Now for Paydirt description, I am kind of torn on this one. I wrote down an 8 based on the details of this description, but I really want to lower it to a 6 because I don't find it to be almost impossible. However, I am going to keep it at an 8 because not everyone is going to classify this down or use a magnet as I did, so I think it warrants an 8 for description. For quantity and packaging, they're getting a 9, 10 for quantity, and an 8 for packaging, which was their little golden coffee bags. For customer service and shipping, Goldbay is getting a 10. I don't think I've ever scored them below 10. They're always really quick to ship out, and the customer service by Dave is always excellent. So total score for Goldbay's Almost Impossible Gnome Bag is an 8.7. Now, I will be reviewing another really hard Paydirt to go through next week, and we'll have to see if it's harder than this one. But so far, for the month of December and my search for an extremely hard bag of Paydirt to go through, Goldbay's winning by default. So all that's left is to flash up the score, give away a 24 karat gold-plated dime. So let's just flash up the score right here. Now, before I give away today's 24 karat gold-plated dime, I do need to give some shout-outs to some of my newest Patreon members, and that's going to be Daniel Kerfman, Jennifer Wallace, and Hector Vasquez. So thank y'all very much for joining my Patreon page and supporting this channel. And if anyone else wants to help support this channel, they can go to patreon.com/Miller Prospecting. And now for today's 24 karat gold-plated dime winner, this is going to go to Gary and Doris Lawson. So Gary and Doris, make sure you email me so I can send this off to you. And to everyone else, thanks for watching, happy painting, and make sure you hit the subscribe button below if you're not already a subscriber.